Good Devach, Shavua Tov, everyone. We are continuing here in the PELE YOETZ and Ahavas Ish v'Isha, the love of a husband and a wife, Shalom Bayis. And he writes the following: If Hashem has expanded the boundaries of one's husband, he's talking to the women here, which means that he has money, Baruch Hashem, he has possessions, he has success, financial success at work and the like. And nevertheless, but even though your husband's making good money, he's a kamtzan, he's a stingy fellow, and he withholds the money from the things that you want and you need for the house. Or he delays in bringing things home. You want a new couch, you want a new picture on the wall, you want to buy yourself a new shaitel, you want a nice vacation, you want so many things, a little bit of jewelry, you want some new clothes for the kids, a new bunk bed, you want a new area rug, all the different things that we want to put into our homes. And you know, according to what you can surmise from your husband, that he has the means to be able to do this, but nevertheless, he doesn't let you. He says, no, now's not the time, I don't have the money, I don't have the funds, forget about it, I'm not giving it to you right now. Or he brings it, but he delays such a long time, you never get what you want when you would like it. Says the PELE YOETZ, why should it bother you? Why should it bother you? Now, everyone's thinking, well, it does bother me, but he's going to explain why should it bother you. Whatever he brings you in terms of money, so then, or food and the like, you bring it before your husband and you feed him. Is he able to say to you, the husband will say, why didn't you bring me all the tasty treats that I enjoy? You brought me a little piece of chicken tonight. I was looking forward to some meat. You brought me this glass of wine, such a low quality. I wanted something more expensive. So you tell your husband, what could I bring you if you don't bring me? So you have a complaint that you can give over to your husband. And if over clothing and jewelry and the pleasures that people have, you end up making an argument about this, this is foolishness and it's a waste of your time. You don't like that he doesn't let you take the credit card and go on a spending spree and get whatever you want. You don't like that he tells you can only buy the $4,000 shaitel. You can't buy the one for $6,000. I'm sorry, my dear. We have to have some budget over here during the month. So it's hevel uraus ruach. It's foolishness. Ki toiv pas chareva v'shalva ba. It's better that you should eat a little bit of brown stale bread peacefully than have a luxurious meal but eat it in strife. These are important words to remember. Better to have a little when there's shalva, when there is tranquility, than to have a lot but there is strife and angst and frustration between the two. And we know that by the Saita, the woman that's accused of being adulterous, we're allowed to take Hashem's name and erase it into the water in order to prove her innocence. Shenichta b'kedusha was written with holiness, that name. You're allowed to erase it shalom abayis, because of shalom bayis. So alachas kama v'kama, all the more so. Shetzrichem ish v'isha limchayil. A husband and a wife must forgive each other. Ulevantil ritzaynam mibnei shalom bayis, and forgo their own pleasures, their own desires, their own wants for the sake of shalom bayis. What's more important to you, getting your way or having a house that is peaceful? What would you like to have with your spouse? Would you like to know that you're always the victor, you always win? Or would you like to know that you always create peacefulness and tranquility between a husband and a wife? So often husbands and wives argue with each other, they chepper with each other, they bother each other, they annoy each other, they have complaints against each other. It's constant. And they're denying themselves the most valuable thing in the world. A life without arguing, a life without getting upset about the silly things in life. A marriage which breeds peacefulness and tranquility is worth infinite amounts of money than the money that your husband is pulling in and bringing into the house and not letting you spend. A husband and a wife are much better off living a simple life, living a life where they respect each other and they love each other, and they create an aura, an atmosphere of shalom, of real peace and calmness in the house, than having a house that is trimmed with all of the finest things in the world, and yet when you walk into the house, immediately, besides seeing the luxurious things in front of you, you could feel the tension is so thick you could cut it with a knife in the air. And that's because you make the decision. Do you want a life that's going to be a life of money and riches and luxuries, but it's going to come with a heavy price tag? And that price tag is you and your spouse will argue and bicker amongst each other so that each one will get what they want? Or do you want a life of pashtus, of simplicity? A life perhaps where you won't be able to have all of the luxuries that you want. But at the end of the day, when you look at your spouse before you go to sleep and you say those words, I love you, you will mean it from the bottom of your heart, and you will go to sleep with a peaceful smile on your face. What matters more to you? That's only something that you can answer. Have a wonderful day.